And we are officially live tonight. Hello, all my BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of the All Elite Ensemble review, where we recap everything everything and anything AEW related here on this Tuesday evening. I am one of your hosts, El Jefe of BC WrestlePod, Mikey, and of course, joining me this week is normal co-host who is here all the times and held it down with the team while I was gone last week. In El Profesor, the professor is back once again.
That doesn't mean Benny's abnormal. At least he hasn't showed us that yet. It's just Benny will be the regular, and the bald man pandemic of BC WrestlePod will continue. We were talking just before. They got a stage, Chicago, man. The Aragon Ballroom, that tiny that's perfect for them. And there's a lot of people talking about, AEW can't fill a big venue. Fine, but they still look really cool. Like it had that '90s. Not necessarily ECW feel, but like the production value was just enough that super cool. I like that. So lots to talk about.
Exactly. And this is only one of two summer residencies that AEW is going to be doing, because speaking of old school wrestling, they're going to be in Philadelphia in August. So that's also going to be very fun.
There we go. Yeah.
That's going to be fun as well. But as it was preluded and told by the El Profesor, we have returning for the second week in a row because somehow we haven't scared him off yet. Our friend to the channel, he was here holding it down with the boys last week for All in Texas, and now he's here for a weekly episode. Betty is back into head, and I'm so excited to finally get to work with him.
We used to have a soundboard when we ran these on Discord, but we didn't get anything done, so we had to jump off of Discord. It was bad. We had a whole sound thing built out, and that's around the time Mikey was like, yeah, we can't do the soundboard anymore.
Like, you guys abused the privileges.
We did. We were terrible. We were awful.
Oh, man.
Understand.
We have come so far. Hey, but you know what? The soundboard may be making a re-entrance in sub capacity. We're working it out right now.
Can we do I don't know if you can do that on StreamYard. Can you? You got to be able to.
I think there is a way, but I'm gonna be testing that out in the next week or so. So it's gonna be crazy. But we are here to review this past week's of AEW television programming, because now that we are post All in Texas, we are building up. Question mark? Yeah, we're building up to whatever TV specials we got that, down the line for the rest of the summer. But then, of course, the next big thing for AEW in terms of pay-per-view cycling and scheduling is Forbidden Door, happening at the end of August. So we are coming off the post All in Texas and then pre Forbidden Door build. So back to basics, if you will. Now that we've kind of reset some things, we're setting up some new stuff to see where it carries us. But before we get into all of the AEW goodness this evening, we got to do a little bit of housekeeping, as I call it. So if you are new here to BC WrestlePod and you like what you see, or even if you don't, that's okay. We take it either way. You can subscribe and hit the bell notification on YouTube, or follow us on Twitch and Kick, which is a lot of fun. But if you cannot commit to a full-length review all the time, and you're just like, do we have something more digestible? We got you. A social media site at BC WrestlePod, where you can take a look at our clips that talk about some major talking points, as well as reading our report cards we do for all the weeklies and for the pay-per-views and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. We cover everything from the major promotions here in the U.S. to a lot of the international brands and some more niche stuff like Mystery Wrestling. Stay tuned this Thursday as I lead our comedy wrestling team, or try to at least, through Mr. Wrestling 17. Oh man, I pulled double duty on Sunday because I ended up not watching one but two shows, but that's for a whole nother discussion.
I gotta watch that. I feel like it's my style. I just haven't had time. I gotta check it out.
Ridiculous. Watch the review or tune into the review for parts of it on Thursday. It's a wild time and everything. And I have graphics this time, so we're good on that. But we also have some merchandise available at BC WrestlePod /4th wall, where you can get merch of all our review teams, as well as some very fun ones. We have our summer collection still up. Our Pride 24/7 collection is still there. And of course, our mission, where part of the proceeds will be donated to organizations that are, anti-authoritarian government-ish kind of things, whatever, try not to get demonetized on this channel, but overthrow the patriarchy. Anywho,
We have anti-Christian Cage shirts is what we have.
We
Well,
might
yeah, I
be-
mean, it's changed. Yeah, those shirts wouldn't sell now.
we might be moving into the matriarchy question mark. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show.
I got some questions. Poor Nick Wayne. He kind of got left out to dry, but we'll talk about it.
Ooh, we'll talk about it. But without further ado, let's just jump straight in. Let's start with what we always do here at All Elite Ensemble, and let's talk about what happened on AEW Dynamite. So, of course, to nobody's surprise, we kick off AEW Dynamite this week with our new AEW World Champion, Hangman Adam Page. He is no longer, well, he might still be Hangman Aggro Page a little bit, but he has
He's still a little aggro. He's still a little aggro Page, yeah.
But the healing process has been there for our favorite millennial cowboy. Tony Schiavone introduces him. It's so nice. Like I said it during the watch along for All in Texas, but for me personally, I'm just like, it's so nice seeing Hangman Page finally get that title back.
He's doing a great job of kicking off these shows. He did it out in Mexico. He had Dynamite. He had one or two other promos that started the show leading up to All In. He's really comfortable. He is aggro, so he does have a little bit of that. I'm angry, and they gave me a microphone. So fine. But that aside, he's got the presence to hold the room and cut the promo. Like he's very, very good at that. I respect that because as we will talk about, some other folks have been getting the mic lately and kind of blowing it. This was great. Chicago ate it up. It was cool. The whole comment about you deserve it. No, you deserve it. You deserve a champion. You watched us. You supported us. You wanted this revolution. You wanted something different. It was really cool. Really, it was something that you it's getting a little too much. I didn't have a problem with this, but if this starts going on for the next year or so, like you wanted something different and we gave it to you. Because they're going to lean on it too much, I think, at one point. They got to pull back a little, but for now, it's fine.
I was like, what are you doing breaking out into this coming
this summer? Remember AEW? We're back. You never left. I know. Like the whole conversation with the narrator thing. Go ahead. Yeah. Go, Benny, go.
So, you guys remember a couple months ago, like right before Darby left, like he was doing the rah-rah AEW speech. And it's like, does everybody get a turn at this? Or, yeah, we're all happy it's here too. Like, we just, like...
Exactly. I get it. They're proud of it, right? And it's working. And, okay, I think if they want to throw it back to the fans, which is great, because the other promotion that they're in direct competition with doesn't always do that. They just kind of make it a lip servicey thing. So I get it. Smaller venue like this where you're right on top of them, I get it. But I think you're right. It's sort of like, all right, who's doing the rah-rah this week? Is it you? Okay, go ahead. Like it is a little bit of a...
Like Adam Copeland is like, you just got here, man. Like, what's going on?
And even then, his kind of backfired, right?
Yeah, right?
We're awesome. We're all awesome. Like, really?
I was like, Mr. Cope, we're going to talk about you a little bit later in this interview because I'm like, oh boy. But again, this is what we've come to learn and love from AEW is that this is the rah-rah speech from Hangman, of course. And we would be seeing him in action in our main event later tonight in an All-Star. I also need them to calm down with the All-Star. I was like, you could just call it a 6-man. You could call it a trio. It's not everything needs to be an All-Star. But you know what? I'm still here with these multi-man matches have been a lot of fun. And so far, AEW hasn't gotten me bored or not wanting to see multi-man matches. But let's not overuse that because then I eventually will get bored. But I digress.
It's got to get sponsored by Smash Mouth. They have to play All-Star. Everyone enters to that.
Listen, we know AEW got that budget. If we can do Final Countdown. I'm just
someone has to get the Shrek entrance. Somebody once told me, like, make it a whole thing.
Oh my gosh. Oh, for real. I was like, we know the demographic that watches wrestling most of the time. We know that age bracket. So, like, I ain't gonna say no. But we move on from our opener for Dynamite this week. And
I know that neighborhood. I know exactly where they are. This made me very happy.
And everybody's just like, you guys suck. Oh, this was so much fun to watch.
Do you have another slide of this before I blow the lead? Or are you right here?
When we get to the match, because I saved the entrance part for when we talk about the actual match itself.
So, okay, I won't say anything yet because the production value of what happens after this leading into that is fantastic. I love that.
So we're going to talk about that when we get there. Go for it. Sorry.
My bad, Mikey. All I didn't want to say is that, like, my favorite part of this whole walking in bit was, like, Renee just chomping at the bit to give him back what they were giving her,
Renee is still probably the best behind-the-scenes interviewer in all of professional wrestling.
Easily.
She's the perfect straight man for all the shenanigans, and then she makes jokes. She's crushing everybody, like so good.
We're gonna get to you Bucks in a little bit later, but right now let's talk about what was our first official match of Dynamite this past week. We have, of course, the proto star Kyle Fletcher taking on CMLL's Máscara Dorada. Nice to see that CMLL guys are still sticking around AEW. While it hasn't officially been made, it seems that, you know, Tony Khan is taking a page out of New Japan and DDT Pro Wrestling, because apparently CMLL star Echiseto now has a dual contract where he is still underneath CMLL and still working for CMLL, but now he has a AEW contract too, which will allow him to wrestle in both, kind of like Takeshita does with New Japan, AEW, and DDP.
Smart. Yeah.
Very smart.
The money. Take all that money, my friend.
Yeah. This match was fun. I really enjoyed this one, of course. Kyle Fletcher continuing to prove, I was just like, now, had it not been for Adam Cole making me cry at All in Texas, I'm pretty sure that title would have been yours, Kyle, but it is okay. I can't fault him for that. And I wasn't here last week for the All in Texas review, but it made sense for Adam Cole to come out. The atmosphere is heavy. And then, of course, Dustin winning, you like the Texas crowd was, and the old school wrestling fans made it happy. So it's like balancing it out. But as far as this match goes, I really enjoyed this one. Kyle Fletcher continues to be a rising star in AEW. I'm ready for him to hold a singles title. Hopefully he gets that by the end of the year, because I don't foresee Dustin holding that thing for too long. And then, of course, Máscara Dorada. Give me more luchadores in AEW. I really, really love it. Professor, I want to come to you first. What did you think of our opening match for Dynamite this week?
This is fun. I love Dorada. I'm glad to see him again, coming up from CMLL that week when I was watching those promotions, and I got to watch more of them. I was watching highlights of them over the weekend, actually, not to out myself. So this was fun. The crowd was into it. You know, I wonder if they got out there and then realized, oh, they're really close. So that was some of the calculations in their head. It was like, they're right on top of us. Some of the moments they went to the outside, they were kind of catching each other like, oh, we're right here. They were great together. They're fantastic. I do agree that I think Kyle was probably going to get it. We'll never know, but it makes me feel better because that was my pick. But that being said, I do think Dustin's going to have it for a little while. I wonder if Dustin just retires with it. Like they let him ride it out to the end of the year and make it classy and then let him go train other folks. That would make sense to me.
Spoiler alert, Dustin has a 5-year contract. He just re-signed for like 5 years. When
did he resign? Did he resign for 5 years?
Like, I want to say last month or the month before that. So Dustin's here for he's finishing out his career in AEW. So we got to
hold this title for 5 years hostage.
I give it like that tops. Like, yeah.
Crush the mid card for 5. No, great for him. It gives him something to do. I'm excited for him. Good. Get that money. Good for him. Benny, go.
So I don't want to shout out another podcast on here, but like I was watching a show and 2 of the ladies were there at All In, and apparently the reason that like nobody was there during watching the 4-way was because the entire crowd like went into the bathroom and cried. Like,
really?
Yeah, like people just like got up and was just like, I need nachos and a Diet Coke, and I could cry in the bathroom after that. Like,
that makes total sense too, because the crowd, it wasn't the crowd that was there was excited, but you're right, you can kind of see it's a little gap heavy at the top a little bit. That makes sense. Yeah,
right. But like talking about this match, like I actually watched this one back today, and like Kyle Fletcher is like really come like leaps and bounds. Like he's always had the in-ring down, right? But like his character work has really come a long way in the past year or so, maybe even 2 years, like however long he's been there. But like I remember like him and Lee Johnson like last year in ROH, they were just tearing it up. Like I think they had like 3 or 4 matches over the ROH TV title, and ever since he's made the jump to the Don Callis family, like wow, like
once he shaved his head, his career took off. The hair just was 2 in between. He had a face look for a heel guy and it didn't work. Shaved his head, boom, it was perfect.
Off to the races, right?
That's what it takes. We all shave our head to fix our problems from within. Mikey, stop me before I start crying.
So ultimately, Kyle Fletcher does pick up the victory here over Máscara. And again, this goes into what happened to kick off Collision when we get to that part. But for right now, we got to talk about what happened next, which is, again, everything that was discussed. Renee chomping at the bit, their locker room, like the title EVP being sharpied out, Ricochet and Gates of Agony clowning them, Don Callis offering them some sort of, solution and a partnership of some sort, which, not much to say here because it leads into what we got next. But first,
if you have ever wandered around an abandoned building in Chicago or any metropolitan area, you know the smell of the promo they're doing there. You know that was probably like a dangerous, hey, you could go around the corner, but don't fall into the hole. Like, I love the look of that. They chose the dingiest part of the ballroom to go shoot a promo. And I've had dressing rooms in similar places, actually, which is really, really funny. This was great.
Right.
I thought it was fun. The Young Bucks now have something to do.
It does.
And they haven't really had anything to do other than be EVPs, right? Like they kind of found that evil thing. And the first few months of it, we were like, okay, I guess fine. And now a year later, seems like now they have something to do other than just wreak havoc. This is fun. Ricochet makes every promo better. I'm a little question mark about the Don Callis thing because it seems like everyone goes towards Don Callis to try and get a face turn eventually. So we'll see.
They're collecting wrestlers like Infinity Stones right now. It's just like you have so many people on the Don Callis family. Like it's getting wild out here.
Yeah, they're not quite 1998 NWO where it's basically everyone. But they are collecting a lot of fun.
So that's the crazy part, yeah.
But like one thing I loved about like this interaction with Don Callis and the Young Bucks, where like I think Matt was just like, "I'll never join your family," and and Don's just over here like, "Yeah, you will eventually."
Perfect evil villain thing, yeah.
Exactly. So this will not be the last we see of everybody involved here. But let's go back here really quickly.
That was a great screenshot of Renee's face, by the way.
Right. Shout out to Pro Wrestling Photos and things like that for capturing these screen grabs that we use because I appreciate it. But really quickly, this is a promo from the Hurt Syndicate. Of course, the tag champions are still dominating. MVP is like, no tag team is going to come close. MJF reminds us at home, in case we forgot, and Hangman that he has this contract where he could get a championship match anytime. And he still got unfinished business with Hangman, and he going to ruin everything for basically how we can equate this to. So I was like, all right. I was like, we did not forget, but thank you for the refresher.
This is not fair. That sounded like someone got hurt. Hang on a second. Benny, go ahead.
Okay. One thing I love about these backstage promos with the Hurt Syndicate and Max is like anytime Max starts speaking, like Bobby is in the background just like, oh, it's only a matter of time.
He's like, it's gonna come down the line, we already know it. Bobby's breaking the fourth wall. He's like, the only thing Bobby has left to do is to look at the camera and just like
he's selling the wink to the audience perfectly, right? Like, we're friends for now. Like, it totally works. I made a mistake before watching Dynamite last week, and that mistake wasn't really my fault. I just happened to find out that there's going to be a Happy Gilmore 2, and I found out that MJF
is part of it,
the son of Happy Gilmore. So I couldn't not think of her watching this promo and laughing. So this did not land for me because I'm a horrible person.
Hey, we've kind of been knowing because, the wrestling outlets have told us that, MJF was a part of Happy Gilmore 2 when they were filming and everything. I also think Becky Lynch was also a part of that too.
Becky Lynch is in it. Becky Lynch is in there. There's a few wrestlers in there, but because Sandler's a wrestling nerd, I didn't know or just escaped me that he was playing his son. And there's a screenshot of him like smiling, holding a golf club. I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But Adam Sandler was in this interview talking about how much he loved MJF's acting and other stuff. And I'm so glad he's playing my son. And I was like, oh my God. If MJF gets one, like I
love it.
I can't wait. I love seeing actors act. I'm seeing wrestlers act, even if they're bad. It's going to be fantastic. So I apologize for being numb to this promo. I was laughing about something else.
It's totally okay. So we all knew what this was. It's just like that thing is going to come to haunt us. Hopefully it won't be dragged out, or they'll actually have a plan for it. Unlike Christian Cage's one, I'm still mad about that one, but it is what it is at this point. So we got to move on though, because now we get into this all-star 8-man tag, which it shows, I like everybody here. On one side, we have the Bucks, Josh Alexander, and CMLL's Hechicero, taking on our ROH World Champion, Bandito, Jet Speed, and my baby daddy, Brody King. Listen, Brody King is the best human being on the planet. It was already established before Grand Slam Mexico. It was furthered with Grand Slam Mexico and what he came out to be. And then, hey, AEW would just be like, you are the best person on the planet, Brody King. I love you. But this was a fun match. We all knew what this was, but I'm going to just let this picture speak for itself because
It's so good.
no pyro, the Sanskrit font, like
Hands.
Justin Roberts just not giving it in his introduction.
It was perfect. This is so much. I hope they run with this forever. They just crush them for as long
Every
as possible.
time. It's just like, just do it. I was just like, we got like the old school with the no EVPs thing. It was like bouncing around the screen like the old, like a DVD play.
For those of us who know what a screensaver is, be like, oh yeah, that's what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. This match
was
this match was what I expected. Everybody just running in, doing things, everybody getting their stuff in towards the tail end of things. I'm loving the colors on Jet Speed, and like I was like, yes, tag teams that actually have matching gear. We talk about this all the time in other promotions.
Jet
but I'm
Speed looked like they were like at the Olympic trials. Like it had that sort of, we're going to see a montage of them training to take on South Korea and Best of the Best 2. Like whatever it was, like there was something to it. Like, oh, this is cool.
Where my mind went, I'm like looking at their design and everything. I'm like, they're just missing yellow. And of course, because I'm a big anime nerd, I was like, you are like one color away from looking like an All Might cosplay for My Hero Academia in those colors.
Take this fingernail. What? Just eat it. What? That's all you need. What? Sorry. Go, Benny, go.
Oh, like, so with the entrances, right? Like, the thing that cracked me up the most was that, like with the Matt and Nick, like, there's like one lowercase t in Matt's name, and Young Bucks is lowercase.
Perfect.
So they didn't even put all the effort in. You know, Josh Alexander like holds up, I think, Speedball for like the Melter driver. And then, like, you know, Head to Cero like kicks up somebody else, like, so the Bucks can hit the super kick party on him. Like, amazing, just amazing stuff.
I think the Young Bucks have always been good. We've really seen them show out the last 2 months. It's almost, I'm not saying we forgot, but it's like they were like, all right, why don't you go remind everyone how good you are? They didn't do a lot of stuff for, I don't know, 8 or 9 months there. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, here we go. Yeah, all the tandem stuff you're talking about, you're absolutely right.
Like, Matt had like two, like, he didn't have any arms. Like, both of his elbows were like, exactly, like, but like, you know, Brody King, man, like, this guy's so organically over that, like, they need to do something. I know Buddy's hurt and whatever, but like, just have him beat Dustin and then or something, you know, and just have Kyle kicking his feet. Like,
be fantastic. He does that little kid thing where Kyle wraps his hands around Brody's ankles and he just walks with him. Like, come on, come on.
But the Bucks and the Don Callis family pick up the victory over our, you know, faces, if you will. But again, entrance is great. Love this. So we move on though. Cope, I love you. But apparently now we're talking about Adam Copeland. I was like, are we going back to Adam Copeland? Like, what's the TE Dynamite? But I don't want to spend too much time on this one because, hold on, let me go back. These pictures explain everything. Cope talks for a little bit. Stoke comes in with the 2 security guards. To the security guard on the left, shout out to independent wrestler Kevin Koo for making it on AEW television. I know Kevin Koo from GCW as part of Violence is Forever, one of, you know, the hard-hitting tag teams in GCW. Cope is listening to Stokely. Stokely tells Cope that he can't put his hands on FTR. And other than the schoolboy roll-up being the most devastating move in professional wrestling, the other one is loopholes. Because Cope's like, okay, I can't touch FTR, but that doesn't mean I can't beat you up. And then proceeds to beat up Security and Stokely. As this segment ends, I was just like, we already know where this is going. The rumor is it's going to be Cope and Christian versus FTR in Toronto at All Out. So I'm just like, all right, sir. I have nothing more to say.
I don't hate that theory. That could still be really cool. I hope, right?
It's going to be a long build because All Out is in September.
Yeah, it's like they got 6 weeks to figure that out or do what they're going to do. Fine promo. This is fine. It is kind of funny to see. I just forgot his name. You just mentioned him from Violence First Forever. I saw him and I was like, I know who that is. I think he's pretty capable. And then he just kicked once it's over. It's like, oh, never mind. Okay, security.
We have seen you do things. We understand, Kevin Koo. We got to sell for the bit.
Yeah, if you're wearing a security shirt, you're minus 10 dexterity. Like, you're done. Like, you can't do nothing. It's just, I don't know. There's lots of nerd speak that we could throw into that thing.
I love how, like, Kevin Koo, like, he just had a smile on his face the entire time. Like he's like, I'm standing in the ring with Adam Copeland, and
Right?
then just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get kicked by Adam Copeland. Like,
That's like Simon Miller laughing when
but-
he got thrown by who was that? Someone threw him, and then when they went to London, all in London, and he's like, "I got beat up, but I smiled. Like we did a total mistake." Like it's funny.
He's going over the rope. Like, but yeah, I really don't have much to say about this because it's just the start of thing new. You know, I felt like a lot of the show was sort of like we're done with that. Let's start new, and this is where we're going with that. You know.
So this is gonna be a long build for this. So we move on though because we get into our second match. Tony Khan be spending racks and dinero over the last couple of weeks because we've been having lots of these multi-person is for monies. So we get this women's 100K four-way fight, which sees Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Tekla, and Queen Aminata. And I was just like, oh, this ruled so much. I was like, yes, these four can kill each other. Of course, we're telling two separate stories, and then Tekla still got beef with each other. So this was a lot of fun. Ultimately, Tekla does pick up the victory here with a little bit of some assistance from Julia Hart and Sky Blue. We're going to talk about them in a little bit because AEW don't tease me because I'm here for this faction. I'm going to be so for real. But this was great. This was a lot of fun. I want more of this, please. Dynamite, give me more women's matches. That's all I ask.
Queen Aminata's thigh slaps sound like a baseball bat home run, like snapping a 2x4. Just like every time it just cuts through the audio. Like, oh my God, she just destroyed herself. A lot of fun. I could watch the four of them all day. It's fantastic. I think Tekla had a few miscues. There's a few spots that she kind of missed here and there. She got a little ahead of herself, even though it was still fun. I think Willow caught her once right off the apron all of a sudden, and it was like, I just saved your life, but keep going. Like, put her back down, and they kept going in the next thing. Chris Statlander's feats of strength are just ridiculous. That's kind of sad that we dropped that Wheeler Yuta stalker thing because I really wanted to see her manhandle him.
Well,
maybe that's my only reason. Or that might come.
Wait.
Yeah. I see why we did, but no, this was fun.
When we get to Collision, we're gonna talk about it because apparently
does it come back? It comes back
when we get to Collision because they had a brief segment before Bree dragged Wheeler out of the room, but we'll get there when we get to Collision.
Benny, go. Benny, say words. Benny, use your words.
Oh yes, absolutely, I will. One of my favorite, like Stat and Willow, right? Like I know that like everybody says like they could fight forever, but like could they cool it off at some point and like come back a little bit because they've sort of been doing this over and over and over again for a while, and they've already had a blow off match. Like it just seems like we're retreading stuff. But like I love both of them, but it's like okay,
it feels like now it's just happening without a story now, right? It's just
it's just like what like it's just like a holding pattern,
Yeah.
And like with Tekla, and I always say that Tekla, and like I love the fact that they've had a blood feud going for the past few weeks. Never once have they had a promo.
Right.
But this is exactly for those who say that in-ring storytelling isn't a way of storytelling. So I've like proven them wrong.
Yeah. Now that we've established some in-ring stuff, let's get some backstage stuff between these two. I mean, we kind of got it later in the show because it was like, we're not done quite yet. We we kind of got a segment where not a kick Tekla in the face, but that's about it. Yeah. I know, just give the girls the mic. It's time. Like, you can do pre-tapes. It's fine. But again, Tekla picks up the victory here. She is $100,000 richer. So it was a lot of fun. Oh, Tony, I love you so damn much. I cannot repeat things that were said during this promo because even though we are 40 minutes in, we would get canceled.
I wrote them. They're written right here. If you really want to know.
Oh, jeez, Professor.
They let me put it there a long time ago.
Oh, my gosh. But
you didn't catch me? It's been there for 40 minutes.
Listen, I'm writing this review. I'm doing tech. Like, I'm going to be so for real. But you know what? At this point, read what the professor has. And
but it's all one word. Google's not going to know.
So, Tony, never change. That's all I have to say about this. Never change. The one thing I did like about this, though, is, of course, Tony plays into the crowd. We love to see it and everything. She does what she does best by making lots of innuendos and things that cannot be repeated on here. So the professor has typed them out because otherwise we get in trouble.
I won't say them.
They exist. But one thing I also did like too, because the question that I had coming out of All in Texas, I was like, okay, how long are we going to wait until we start teasing Athena coming around to be like, hey, I had this contract. I'm coming to get after you, Tony. Did not have to wait too long because literally Athena and Billy are on the Titantron. And I feel like Athena is a really great opposite for Tony's character because Athena also just says off the cuff stuff, especially when we get to Collision too. I love it. But Athena has this contract. She is going to take the title from Tony, but we also are getting tomorrow evening, we're getting an AEW women's eliminator match. Tony is going to be taking on Billy Starks, which should be a really fun match. Billy with all my little heart. I was like, y'all are both theater kids and I love you.
This totally worked for me. They absolutely are theater kids. I normally hate the I'm a recorded promo, I'm a live promo, let's try and line them up thing. But Tony's fantastic, and Aminata nailed it too. I thought this was fun. The crowd ate it up. I love that they kept the sepia tones on the crowd and all the folks, so you could see these spots of red throughout the ballroom.
This picture is amazing.
Man, if you're still not on board with what she's doing, you're
fun.
bored. Yeah, you just hate fun. Like, go cry alone elsewhere. This is just cool. Like, that's amazing. And if you're seeing that in real life, you're colorblind. Get that checked.
I think when Billy started talking, I was like, who is that? And I haven't heard Billy's voice like a wicked long time. To be honest with you.
Right.
And then like Athena spoke, and I was like, oh, okay. Like maybe they cut to the screen rather, and like I love that they're like jumping right in. Like, y'all want it? Here you go. And it should be a fun match whenever it happens. Who knows? We got like what? As I said, like before we started, like what, 3 pay-per-views in the next few months. So
right. So this can carry out to Wrestle Dream. It could, I'm calling my shot now. Athena's walking out as champion in the next 3 months. We're gonna pin that and see how right or wrong within that time frame.
Are they trying to set up Athena Mercedes Moné then? Or I mean, where do you go then?
I think that will be the eventual plan, but we'll see what happens. Again, I say these things and then I could be completely wrong too. But as kind of to wrap this up, this promo segment was a lot of fun. Tony is amazing. I'm excited for Tony and Athena. We get a round 2 on Collision, which we're going to talk about when we get to Collision. So we move on though. Again, we get more kind of like setup. The internet seems to be a little mad that Okada has changed his theme music. So I'm going to out myself here when it comes to saying this. I actually really love Okada's new theme, but that's because I am a big fan of One OK Rock, which is the Japanese rock band that does Okada's new theme. They also, for all you video game nerds, they are also the lead theme song for the latest Sonic game as well. So I'm familiar with their work.
Really?
Yes. I'm familiar with their work and I love them. And I also come to find out that Okada is friends with the band as well. So it makes a lot of sense. I feel that, again, because AEW has budget to do this, I feel like there's a way to chop it up because especially if you want to get to the interlude, which is the breakdown, which is like which is the awesome part of the song. I like Okada's new theme, but that's because I'm a fan of the band and I really like that song anyway. So I know I'm a little biased in saying that, but I understand why people aren't too on board with it too, because his previous theme was iconic. I mean, it's been following him since New Japan and all of that, but I don't hate this one. But essentially, this was also a squash match too. This was the squash match. I'm like, and we're back.
Who's this poor guy that got crushed? They didn't even say his name. He just walks in the ring like, yeah. He throws his hair back. It's over. Like, oh, this poor guy.
Rainmaker, and it's over. I was just like, and we're back.
Local had to give him a shot. Like, he gave him a few moves or whatever, but it's sort of like, you get 60 seconds. I'm here to hit you. Like, oh, okay. But what cool opportunity. Nothing wrong with that. But you can't help but feel bad for some of these jobbers, these locals that just get destroyed.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Mikey. Like I understand like about the change and like the presentation, even like with the music and everything. Like, but like to be fair, like we're lucky we had that song for as long as we did, because it's like New Japan property,
Mm-hmm.
and like so I like his new funeral dress. And ring robe. That joke was so much smoother in my head.
You are truly one of us. We do this all the time. That joke didn't work. I'm gonna keep talking. Welcome.
Not that I stepped on that one.
Be like, no, but I totally get where you're coming from, Benny. And again, this was a squash match. In ring wise, there's not lots to talk about. Afterwards, though, I find very interesting because Okada gets on the mic. He calls out Swerve, telling him that, he ruined his friends, the Young Bucks. He calls Swerve a bitch, which then prompts Swerve to come out. We have a bit of a stare down. I was just like, filler feud, and I'm okay with this.
Swerve was right there waiting. It's like if he calls me,
I know we're gonna say something. We're gonna say something, and we're gonna come out and address it right now.
Swerve, why are you standing here? I don't know. I just feel like someone's gonna call me a bitch.
Like I
And
was
then it
sneezing a
happened.
lot. Somebody's gonna say something about me, and then sure enough.
Oh man, cool moment though. It was great. Chicago got to see Swerve. They were excited about it. It was fun.
So filler feud, I'm okay with it. But yeah, exactly what we got. So I love that Okada has taken the word bitch and has made it a part of his whole entire character, which has been very fun. I've been having a blast with it, not gonna lie. But we leave.
Someday we're gonna learn he has perfect English.
Oh my!
Someday he's gonna come out and just have a straight Nebraska drawl, like clean. Hello, everyone. By the way, my name is like. Wait, what? No.
That would be iconic. It would be amazing.
But he's gonna save it till the end of his career.
Right. So we leave Swerve and Okada because right now we get into our main event of the show, which is this trios match where we still have unfinished business, kind of. So we have the team of Hangman on a Redemptive Path page. Everybody's favorite new, he diversified his portfolio. He said MJF has a kosher pickle and selling that as merch, which is kind of crazy to me. He got into badass mode the last 2 weeks where he got serious. I'm like, oh, he kind of scary. I'm here for this. Mark Briscoe. And then, of course, my personal favorite, because I love him, is Powerhouse Hobbs. Taking on the Death Riders, which is John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli. And tonight will be the night that I fall for you over again. Wheeler Yuta looking like he shops at Hot Topics. I still, you know what? Starting to look like Ghostodon, which is like the ghost type Pokemon. The latest Pokemon game that literally has the same bangs over his eyes. I was like, what in the doggo is this? Like, what is happening, Wheeler? This is getting out of hand. I'm like, at least put it in a bun or something. It looks like a Pokemon. I kid you not, y'all. But
Moxley's the one that looks like an angry Squirtle. Look at him.
He just needs a shade. And what was it? A couple weeks ago when he was wearing the sunglasses, and now that you said he looks like Squirtle, in my head now I was like, Squirtle Squad. I was like, not the Squirtle Squad.
Yes, look at him. Yeah, you look like Squirtle.
Squirtle.
I mean, we're gonna go off the rails Mikey.
Going. Well, speaking going off the rails, I feel like that's how this match kind of went to, because I was like, okay, 6-man and everybody's just fighting each other in and out of the ring. I was like, did we expect anything less? It was chaotic, but the good kind of chaos that I love. This was a lot of fun.
I like seeing Moxley scared. It gives him a different something to do. I know I say that a lot, but sort of like, oh, it's a different version of you. He's sort of looking in the rafters, looking around like, I'm paranoid, what's around me sort of thing. Not going for the fight right away, tagging himself in and out was sort of really interesting to see. His entrance, like I said at the top, like one of the few entrances that work coming out of the audience, because it's the Aragon Ballroom. It's freaking gorgeous in there. This was great. Every time Hobbs is in the ring and they just yell meat, I can't help but giggle. Like, that's fun. Look at that. Claudio got destroyed. Claudio took like half the bumps of this thing. They were just
a lot of hits
all over him on this one. This was, again, an action figure match, which I have no problem with. This was just, let's throw them on the ring and raise hell with it. Crowd ate it up. It was fine.
It was an all-star trios match. Benny, what did you think of our main event for Dynamite?
The first thing that comes to mind is that, like, I love that she's still afraid of Hobbs. Like, every time that... There was one time where, like, Mox goes to get in and, like, Hobbs had just tagged himself in and, like, cleared house. And, like, Mox was like, no. It just rolled back out, It took a powder. And, like, there was a spot where, like, towards the end, where, like, Mark Briscoe was in there just, like, cleaning house. And, like hits Claudio a couple times. Like, as you said, like, Claudio was just bumping all over the place for everybody. And Mark just gets, like, frying pan for hands. Just, like, hits Claudio a couple times. And Claudio just goes, no, bro.
Frying pan hand. Now every time Mark Briscoe hits somebody, I'm just going to be playing the sound effect clink, clink in my head now.
If we get the soundboard, you know how much trouble we're going to cause, because it's got to be that Looney Tunes sound. Like
Mark Briscoe is literally a living Looney Tune. Let's be so firm.
He is. Voiced by Mel Blanc. Yeah, that's exactly what he is.
I love, like, every promo, he's like, listen, all right.
Like you just did. It's like it's like a frame skips, right? It's like there's drop frames in the promo. It's like, whoa,
he's working in 15 frames per second. Oh my goodness,
shooting promos at 56K.
Well, as this match was chaotic, we get towards the tail end, And of course, who should be in the roster? It's not Sting, but it is Darby is up in the rafters, channeling his inner Sting, which would allow the Hangman Page, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Mark Briscoe to pick up the win here. Darbs is coming for revenge against the Death Riders after being choked out by a chair and thrown down the set of stairs with chair still on neck from back in December. So Darbs is coming for revenge, and that is how Dynamite goes off the air. This is a fun Dynamite. We're kind of getting our footing now that we've kind of are slowly in a reset era, as I say, with stories and what's to come for the remainder of 2025 and probably leading us into 2026. So, but now let us get into Collision, because Collision has just every single week I say this. Oh my God, you got to watch this match.
I got to start watching that for these reviews. I've been Dynamite centric.
You watch because half the time it's just all matches. They don't really put a lot of backstage stuff or promos into it. They're just like, this is going to be all the wrestling for this week. So let's see how many matches we can get out of this. But I do highly recommend, if you can't watch the full episode, Professor, watch the highlights, because even the highlights are pretty good. Because we start off, we hear from our new TNT champion, Mr. Dustin Rhodes, who JVL and Andrew pointed out to me, because I was like, they asked for clarifying questions, especially Andrew. I'm like, yes, Dustin is the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion. He is also 1/3 of the ROH Trios Champion, and now he is a TNT Champion. So this dude has 3 belts. I was like, okay. And Andrew's like, are you serious? I was like, yes, Dustin has all those belts. The TNT Championship one, I'm fine with. We're not here. Like, we can be here all day for Ring of Honor, and I could talk about how, as much as I love the pay-per-views, we need to figure out how we're going to utilize storytelling better in Ring of Honor. I'm like, rapid from when we relaunched it, but we'll be here all day. But Dustin, he is very emotional. You know, he shouts out his ma and pa. You know, of course, the legend Dustin. Shout out to Dustin. I know you're laughing when I say that. All my baby.
Rhodes lisp, which they all kind of have.
They all do, and you cannot tell me otherwise. I was just like, but Dustin, you know, is very emotional. He talks about, you know, what it means to be a champion. You know, he's been wrestling for so long, and to get this moment here is incredible. He thanks the fans. He loves everything. And then, of course, what do we do when we have a babyface cut a promo and we have a feel-good moment? Somebody got to ruin the party. And who is it this time? But it is in the form of our bald overlord and the protostar, Kyle Fletcher. The Don Callis, yes, I'm saying him in the third person. The Don Callis breaks it up, that bald fraud. He comes in, the bald overlord. He, again, collecting wrestlers like Infinity Stones with Kyle Fletcher, the protostar. I mean, basically, these two are playing with what some of us are thinking. It's just like Kyle should have won that championship. But what they didn't say is because Adam Cole made near everybody in that stadium and at home almost cry. And also, I almost cried even more when I saw Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly start crying during that promo too. I was like, it was a lot. But basically, this is setting up where Dustin's like, okay, you want to get this championship, you're going to earn the right to fight me. You can piss off with all of that and crying about it. Do something about it, essentially. So we are setting up this feud between Kyle and Dustin for the next however long they decide to let Dustin keep the title. All right, promo. It established what we needed to for what's to come for the next couple of weeks or a couple of months, where these two are probably going to be feuding for this title. And I just look at Daniel Garcia and I'm just like, hopefully they do better with Dustin, because it seems like the TNT Championship is cursed, because anytime anybody gets it, like they get it, they defend it for a little bit, and then they disappear off the face of my television for who knows how long.
Yeah, they get hurt or they end up in that lower mid-card place where we don't know what to do, or they go to Ring of Honor for some reason and do stuff with the title. Like, it just floats around in a weird place. I trust they'll do something good by him, especially if he's got a 5-year contract, like you just said. Like, there's reasons for him to be on the screen and to do things. 5 years, he's 50. He's going to be 60 at the end of that contract, which is remarkable.
For sure. But if wrestling, whether it's the big federations or the independents, I have seen wrestlers near in their 70s and sometimes 80s pushing it and still wrestling. I'm looking at you, Mr. Mike Jackson. I think Jackson's his last name, but GCW, him wrestling Effie was a wild thing that I never thought I would see in my lifetime, but it was great.
And was it AAA that had the grandfather, the son, and the grandson?
Yeah, CMLL got a bunch of folks that are still wrestling. Like, the 3 oldest people in CMLL are Blue Panther, Ultimo Guerrero, and Octagon Senior. Like, when those 3 are on a team, you can count like 250 plus years of wrestling and experience together. But then again, luchador and lucha libre in general, like whatever they got down in Mexico and sometimes in Japan too, like it's working because they bodies still be able to move the way that it needs to. And I was just like, I need y'all to bring that over here because I want to live like I'm 525 years old, like for reals.
Health insurance and dreams. It'll do a lot for you.
Oh my goodness. I mean, So
my bad. I just want to say that like real quick with Dustin, like he's a fantastic promo, always has been, obviously. But like he just like I don't know, man. Like he's far better, like a far better tag wrestler, especially at this age. Like
no. Well, yeah, because even the trios championship in ROH, she's got younger guys who can do most of the heavy lifting. I mean, Sammy and him as the tag team champs for ROH. Sammy does a lot of the stuff, and then despite them still being fairly new and still kind of trying to pick up on everything too, the ROH trios champions, you have Dustin, but you surprisingly you have the Von Erichs. Both of them do the heavy lifting too for those trios matches, even though they're still fairly younger and learning the business and still doing all that good stuff too. So
I completely agree. And but what I mean is that in some of those tag team matches, like Dustin's just laying in the corner of the match. And it's like, how is this guy going to be like a singles wrestler, you know?
Well, in that Fatal 4-Way, I was like, Dustin, like, ooh. Dustin was doing the same thing in that Fatal 4-Way all in Texas. I was just like laying on the floor, laying in the corner. I'm just like, all right, well, again, I'm for certain that Dustin's not going to hang on to this thing for long. So Kyle's going to get it. It depends on how long Tony wants Dustin to be TNT champion and whatnot. So we'll see what happens with all that. Yeah. So we move on, though, because then we get into our first match of the night, which was baller. We get Ricochet versus AR Fox. This is kind of like AR Fox. He's like, listen, I got beat up by you and the Gates of Agony like 2 weeks ago, and now I want to get even with you. So listen, I've always said this. We always say this here. AR Fox, shout out to homie to the channel, AR Fox. We love him. He's a fantastic dude, a fantastic human being as well. Yeah, anytime he's on my television screen, I'm never going to complain. And then him and Ricochet, they did what they do best. They go fly. Like they do everything. I'm
excited to go watch this. This is one that the two of them, I'm gotta go dig that up.
Yeah, Fox is another one of those guys that's just like organically over right now. Mm-hmm. And just simply from his athletic prowess, let's say. And Ricochet coming out for this match by himself, I was like, something's up. Because when he didn't come out with the Gates, I was like, oh man, I know how this is gonna end. But to be fair, I love seeing Gates of Agony on my TV. It's one of those tag teams that they've been doing basically nothing with ever since the World Tag League 2 years ago, and
yeah,
it's why? I don't know. But this match was fantastic. If you love Lucha Underground, definitely go watch this match.
Yeah, I'm excited to find it.
Definitely watch this match. Ricochet does pick up the victory over AR Fox though, because of course Gates of Agony helped run interference for a little bit, but fantastic match nonetheless. This was great. Loved it. Again, more AR Fox on my screen. I will never complain. So Colt Cabana was out here for 30 minutes of Collision, and then Death Rider, John Moxley had enough, and so they attack Colt Cabana. I was like, not my boys. I don't know. Go ahead.
What I was gonna say is that there is a annual event that A tries to build toward every year, and including Colt and let's just say Hangman. There's 4, and it's usually 5-on-5. So that's what I'd love to see it go. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Rest in peace, Colt Cabana.
Colt got messed up. Again, Death Riders are now a hit squad apparently. So we'll see how this turns out later. But right now, we get into our next match. This was Megan Bayne versus Ty Mel. Everybody had a man from ringside, so it's just a straight up one-on-one match. I know Ty has been gone for a little bit. She had a whole baby and everything. Her and Sammy and their baby are the cutest things on their social media. I'm not even going front. But I like Ty. I really like Ty because I feel like in AEW, she's one of the few women that actually includes her mixed martial arts background into her wrestling, which is fun. And I mean, it's Megan Bayne. We expect nothing less from what we're going to get from Megan. She is just this she is this Amazon of a woman. She's going to hit you hard and she's going to throw you all over the place. This was a lot of fun. I will say, it did, at least the first couple of minutes, maybe the first 3 or 4 minutes, it did take a little bit for them to kind of figure out their rhythm and to get on the same page. But then once they got going, this was a lot of fun to watch. Megan Bayne does pick up the victory here, continuing to be pushed as this big old monster in the AEW women's division, which I'm like, cool. So now where are we going to take Megan, you guys? That's my next. Where are we taking Megan? Because you can only have her beat so many people so many times. Like, where are we going with her next?
They had somewhere to go if they let her win and not blow up all my picks. I think they got to push her more. I love that Tay's there. I'm a fan of Tay and what I've seen. I wish they went a little bit more all in on Megan Bayne. I'm not sure why they're pumping the brakes on her. She had a lot of good momentum. The promo you told me to watch was hysterical of her just smashing everything and wreaking havoc. Like, these are great. She's got the character. She's got the chops. She can do this. I'm not sure why they're, I don't know. Maybe I'm just grumbly. I don't know.
I honestly feel the same exact way. To be honest with you, like I've seen her live, and she can bring it just as hard every time, you know. And like, what are we doing? Are we just spinning the tires? Like time. I'm not just trying to be a curmudgeon. I'm sorry. Like, it's not, a lot of
That's
the
not
time, it's
curmudgeonly.
like,
You're fine. It's not
like,
old man yells at cloud. You're okay.
sometimes it feels like that. You know, like, what are we doing? Like, where are we going with that? Like, oh, never mind. It got dropped.
I really hope that's not the case, but yeah.
So hopefully we have something more for Megan. I mean, she's both beat Ty and Anna Jay as well. So hopefully we can move Megan to something else. Maybe perhaps, I don't know if they want to rerun her and Tony, but you know, because technically Megan really hasn't addressed, you know, Tony having to roll her up for the win at Dynasty earlier this year. So that might be in the back pocket later. But again, this was a fun match. Both women are great. This was a lot of fun. We'll see what's next for Megan and also for Ty as well. Again, Don Callis is trying to collect Infinity Stones out here because he is trying to recruit Scorpio Sky into the faction, y'all. But Christopher Daniels told Don Callis is like, no, you're not going to recruit Scorpio Sky. And then corporate Christopher Daniels, as like in a backstage hand, is just like, listen, we just put this faction together. You are not about to destroy it before it can do anything else right now. So if this sets up the new SoCal Unlimited versus Don Callis family for a little bit, I'm here. But Don Callis needs to stop collecting wrestlers like they Infinity Stones, or to take it even nerdier. Don Callis is the brain from the Teen Titans cartoon and is about to carbonite all these wrestlers in a hidden basement somewhere.
That's a good reference. Well done.
That arc ruled. I don't care what nobody says. But anywho, we move on though, because we also get a quick women's match, which bleeds into a women's promo afterwards. We get Taya Valkyrie. Again, I love her. Taking on our newest signee to AEW and Miss Alex Windsor. I love Alex to death. Ring of Honor as well as Rev Pro UK and just UK independent scene. I thought this match was good. I do think though, I feel, and hopefully this will happen, I think Taya is always good for putting over newer talent. However, I will say I love Alex to death, but I do think that it took them a little bit to find their footing. They kind of got it on the same page. This was an okay good match. I do think Alex probably needs somebody to match her style of wrestling a little bit better to take it from okay to really great. So that British style of wrestling is so different than Americanized wrestling, but I digress. But I'm happy to see Alex here and looking to see how we utilize her going forward. So this wasn't a squash match, though. Taya with MXM Collection is gold. It's gold. Oh my gosh. I don't look. If you can find the promo professor that they did at Super Card of Honor from during All in Texas weekend, they literally, MXM Collection has this new fragrance and like, it's exactly what you think it is. It's in white font and everything. And it's just like the innuendo jokes they made during that promo during Super Card of Honor pre-show was wild. And I was just like,
oh no,
I need more MXM Collection on my TV screen.
I'm not going to say it out loud. I'm going to check and see if they make the joke that I made in my head. Please carry on.
Like the tagline, it was like what was it? Like, let it grow inside you.
Yeah, let it grow inside you. And I was like, we are perpetually 10, and I love it. We love it wrestling like this. This is a decent match. I feel, again, I already stated what I did. Alex doesn't get to celebrate long because Athena from the balcony tells her that you need to leave. Basically tells Alex, like, get out of my ring. And so Athena cuts his promo, and I was dying. I was laughing so hard with this promo because Athena is just like listing off all the different ways that, and says, it's like, oh, I know why all of you love Tony. and just basically runs down her greatest hits while mocking her as well. And then she's just like, you just love the accent. And she over dramatizes everything. It's fantastic. And then of course, Tony has issue with this. She's like, no, darling, you need to get off there. And she says, and I quote, there can only be one balcony, bitch. And I was just like, oh, I love this feud already. We get a little bit of a back and forth. Yeah, go for it.
But I love that, Athena's up there talking. And then, as soon as Tony's like, all right, enough of this. And then, runs up there.
She's like, I'm dipping. We had a whole vaudevillian, chase scene in, the balconies. It was so much fun to watch. Yes. I think the professor found it. Professor, now that you have it in your brain and you've seen it, I want your thoughts on what you just watched.
Man, that's goddamn brilliant. That's fantastic. So good. I gotta watch Collision. If they're on Collision, I need to see more of this, where this is going.
Wild,
Goofy Wrestling for Life.
Goofy Wrestling for Life.
And I just want it. I need it. I'm like, oh my God, it's getting worse.
We love it. Oh, man, MXN Collection has been killing it in DDP Wrestling, and they have all the innuendos. It has been wild. I'll send you clips because it's been so much fun to watch them in Japan, but I digress. So again, as you said, Benny, Tony's had enough of it. She runs to the audience to climb up the stairs to get to the balcony. Athena just books it like a bat out of hell. We get a vaudevillian chase scene through the balconies between these two. It was awesome. Again, Athena and Tony work very well together. I love it. So good. Again, Tony Khan got money to spend because we get another 4-way money match, this time for $200K. And it's a tag team match that sees the Gates of Agony, the Ass Boys in the Guns, the Crew, and Big Bill and Brian Keith. This was fun. This was fine. It's getting all these people on television. It did look like one half of the Ass Boys looked like he hurt himself, which I hope is not a big thing because I'm like, we just got you back. No, it's like, don't. Colton, why are we hurt? No. So, because they were carrying him out as the match was over. But, I mean, this was chaotic. Everybody did what everybody does best. Gates of Agony throwing people, the Guns being the Guns, the Crew running around like Sonic the Hedgehog, and Brian Keith and Big Bill exist. I say this because I'm like, we literally have seen Brian Keith and Big Bill just be like nowhere. And I hate to say this, I was just like, so you mean to tell me y'all have nothing for them? You only had something for them when they were with Jericho, and God forbid we don't need him back on my screen anytime soon. I was like, but you got nothing for them. But I take it back though, because this was me after this match, and then when we get Juice Robinson later, I'm like, okay, it seems that we got somewhere to go, so I guess that's fine. But yeah, this was just a chaotic match. Everybody does what they do best. Gates of Agony win, so they are $200,000 richer. And I want to know, I'm like, Tony Khan, do they get to keep this money? Because I was like, I hope so, or maybe donate it to charity if they don't want to keep it. Like,
it's that's either cool actually their money or it's just their contract for the year.
Sure.
Like, oh, you get to stay employed. Here you go.
I forgot to mention this when we were talking about the Dynamite money match with the women, because some of the women got on, social media to talk about what they would do with the money. Pretty much all of them said they would donate it to charity, but then Queen Aminata took it a step further. She said she's going to donate it to anti-ICE organizations, which I was like, baller. But then she also said, and if I win, I'll add the added bonus where I will go on Instagram Live or something and I will make a meal in my G-string. And I was like, and there it is.
Someone give that woman money.
Be like, her and her girlfriend are amazing. We love them. Anywho.
Yeah, don't get demonetized. Keep going. We're almost there.
Yeah, so Gates of Agony win. So, Penny, any thoughts of this match?
Yeah, first thought is, how old is this picture? But I know this is the picture. I'm not blaming you, Mikey. What I'm saying is that everybody's gear is different in this picture, right?
That's actually a really good observation.
So, fun fact, this picture, I think, was released a couple hours before Collision happened. So this was the day of Collision, but I was just like, yeah, these renders, I was like, these don't match.
They take pictures every event. How can't they, how can't they Photoshop them together? But like a few months ago, they had the feud with Gates of Agony.
Right.
Gates of Agony, they outshined them. And now all of a sudden, the Gates of Agony are off to the races,
It's one of those things where it's just like, it sucks because I know not everyone can get TV time, but I was just like, you got to give something, because since Jericho left, Big Bill and Brian Keith have kind of just been not floundering. They've kind of been waiting in the shallow end of the pool. They're just waiting for something to get into the deep end.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised Sorry, but
No. After you.
I was just saying, I wouldn't be surprised if Big Bill and a handful of others are getting trimmed by the end of the year. And I don't know if that's a contract thing or not let go or we're not renewing the contract or whatever else, just because they're stuck. And it almost seems like it's on purpose at this point. We're not going to give you anything else. And sadly, Brian Keith is incredible. Big Bill, I love his bad promos. Maybe I'm just biased. Fine.
Large William, as we call him.
Large Williams' old promos with Jericho were so bad they were great, and that's just my opinion. They're kind of stuck, and there's a handful of others you can name where it's like, okay, they haven't. You wonder what else is going on, and that's a shame.
Yeah.
So again, yeah, Gates of Agony win.
Indeed. My bad.
It's all good. The fact that Max Caster and this silly gimmick of his has gotten more over than his acclaimed counterpart frustrates me, but also I love me some good comedy spots. So again, Max Caster comes out for the Platinum Max Challenge. Who can survive the best wrestler alive, even though we all know he about to lose in like less than a minute or so. This was probably my favorite part that made me go tee-hee and ha-ha, because we Kyle O'Reilly of Paragon to answer the challenge, right? So I was like, yep, Max is losing once again. Then in a very like vaudeville romp around the ring, like Max still has the mic as he's running around the ring, running away from Kyle O'Reilly, telling him to stop, like leave him alone. And Kyle O'Reilly like making the best faces running around. And then again, Roddy Strong, who's out on ringside, does the comical, like, stick the foot out. Max trips and rolls and is so dramatic about it. And then Roddy gives the face of like, did I do that? And then Kyle O'Reilly proceeds to beat him and pin him. Oh, this was so stupid. I loved it.
A good old Max Caster. Like, I can't believe I'd be saying that, like, 2025.
Again, exactly. I was just like, he's doing better than Anthony Bowens, and that frustrates me. Like, this is stupid, but it's the best kind of stupid. But I was like, this sucks, man. And I was like, Anthony Bowens needs something, man. Come on. But again, this was fun. Kyle, I will say this till the cows come home. Kyle O'Reilly is like one of those, like, he's just objectively ridiculously funny, even if he doesn't have to say much. His like actions and his faces say everything that we need to. So much fun.
He's in the Ken Shamrock funny, right? Like, you're funny because you're almost too serious about the wrong thing.
Kyle O'Reilly is literally like a walking embodiment of like corny dad jokes, but I'm here for it. Like, it's so ridiculous. I love it. Oh man. But yeah,
like him on the 0 hour, like about like posing like the Riddler, like as he's like walking down to the ring. Silly man.
So fun. I love Kyle so much, man. But again, Max still can't get a win. But you know what? It's working for him, and I was like, I need more of it. This is ridiculous. I can't believe I'm saying that. I was like, at first I was like, this is stupid, and now I'm just like, it's stupid, but I want more.
I said that a few weeks back. I was like, this is so dumb. Let it run forever. It's perfect.
Exactly.
It's the dumbest. He could do this forever. I'm the greatest, and lose every week and just collect that check. It's fantastic.
Oh man, I was just like, all right, so we got our comedy spot. What do we got next on the card? Betty, you and I were messaging each other with this one. This was the match for AEW this week. Hands down. Oh my God. Oh, I had to check, like, I had to pause and check my own chest because the first 5 minutes were nothing but these two slapping the shit out of each other's chest, Professor.
Where's Roosh been? We haven't seen Roosh in a while.
So Roosh is a new daddy, so I know he was spending some time with new baby.
Good for him. Okay.
But yeah, when I saw this on the card, I was like, oh, the first 5 minutes alone before we even got into the rest of the match was like, best match of the week for AEW. Don't care. Like, oh my God. But like 5 minutes after they slapped each other in the chest, like I was like, oh my God, they both look like they walked out of the beach or the tanning booth, and it was just all red. Like handprints and everything, and it wasn't like the regular chops. This was the oh God, all the mics picked them up and they echoed in that building chops. It was
can't
wild.
wait. I'd like to see this. I'll go check this out too. That's cool.
Oh my gosh, like I'm actually gonna let Benny talk about this because, like, again, this is hard hitting at hard hitting's best. Like Benny, like go for it. like
Roosh is just going along with it. And it's like, what? Who is it? I've never seen Roosh sell for anybody. I've been watching since ROH.
We make the joke here too because we weren't sure what was going on behind the scenes, but JVL and the Professor and I have said it's like, because sometimes it looked like Roosh wasn't going to sell for nobody. He sold for Shibata in this match.
He sure as hell did. You know, like I actually watched it back like a little while ago just because I was like, man, I need to see that again. Like 3 seconds later, like pretty much like it's just in there just whooping his ass. And then it was like yeah, like as you were saying, like with like them chopping at each other back and forth, there was this one slap like right towards the end where like Shibata like licked his hand and hit Roosh in the stomach, and he was just like, "Oh God!"
They're just like, we know we both can take some punishment, so let's just go all out for the first 5 minutes of this match and just hit each other as hard as we can.
Yes, and it's exactly like sometimes like you're just like, "Oh, that'll be interesting." When I saw this graphic, I was like, "Oh man, that's gonna be a hard hit in the fan," and boy, did it live up to it.
This was awesome. Roosh does pick up the victory over Shibata. This was amazing. I love this. Hobbs comes out for the save, and it looks like we might be getting Ops and LFI, which would be great. So this was so much fun. This was my favorite match of the entire AEW programming this past week. But we get into what would end up being our main event, which was a fun main event. And, equilibrium was imbalanced because we get an 8-man tag team match. Bandito, Jet Speed, and Mascara Dorada taking on the Don Callis family, this time being made up of Josh Alexander, Rocky Azucar Romero, and Lance Archer. And when I said equilibrium was in effect, it is. So Don Callis family wins on Dynamite. They lose on Collision. Like, their record is so 50-50 booking. It's kind of great. But this was a lot of fun. Look, as soon as I saw this face of as soon as I saw this team of baby faces, I was just like, there is a chance that the Don Callis family might win. But I'm like 90% sure that these baby faces are going to do 2 things. One, they all gonna be flying all over the place like they ain't got no common sense. And then, of course, I figured, I was like, nah, these baby faces probably need to win. And sure enough, the baby faces did win, but this was hella fun. And this was the send the crowd happy match for the end of the night. It's just like, get everybody in the ring. Let's do some crazy stuff. And this was fun. I had a great time with this one.
Mikey dropping a hella like he's from the north. This looks great on paper. I hope it was cool. I think Lance Archer is also in that category of might be getting let go someday, right? When we're just talking about folks that we don't know what to do with. They're just kind of there. They're not taking up space. We just don't know what we're going to do with them, and you have a bloated roster. This is fun. You guys have convinced me to go watch Collision. Like, I got to go check that out. I might have to start watching that every week on top of everything else we got to watch.
Well, even if you can't watch the full episode, I feel like the recaps of each match is good enough because, again, Collision doesn't do a lot of like promos heavy stuff or like lots of backstage storytelling. It's just like, we'll give you some story, but it's mostly all about the matches. Collision is just like, all right, so they combine elements of Dynamite and Rampage, and that's what Collision has been for the last, I want to say, a couple months now. If the energy that Collision gives on a weekly basis, I was like, it kind of reminds me of Rampage, where sometimes we get like the funny, like fun stuff, and that energy is carried through. But we also, this is Collision, so we got some storytelling bits to go with it too. But no, for sure, Collision is definitely a fun ride. It is a lot of fun. Again, the baby faces win, and that is how they are celebrating the ring as Collision goes off the air on Saturday. So this upcoming week for AEW programming, tomorrow night we are getting Billy Starks versus Tony Storm in an eliminator match.
That's going to be wild. I mean,
that should be fun.
We know what's happening, but yeah.
And then because of everything that went down with Athena cutting off Alex Windsor, will be challenging Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship this Saturday on Collision. So should be fun.
What I just looked up, and like this is actually the first time the ROH Women's title has been defended on AEW TV since April 2022.
It's been forever.
Interesting. Poor Ring of Honor.
When Deanna was champion at the time.
Yeah, so my poor girl Deanna, loved her. Loved seeing her at GCW Bash in the Ballpark this Saturday, though. I enjoyed her match with Jonathan Gresham, but that's for a whole nother show. But Professor and Benny, thank you so much. This was a blast to review it, and more AEW programming this week is going to be a lot of fun too.
Absolutely.
Oh man,
they're killing it. They were way more interesting than other promotions this week. We can say it that way.
There was a lot of wrestling this last week and a half. It was wild. It's just like, I'm kind of happy that we're slowly like back to just weekly shows and not cramming 5 pay-per-views in a single weekend again. But the only other news that I have in terms of AEW related, we talked about it a little bit, but the next pay-per-view for AEW is Forbidden Door, which will be happening Sunday, August 24th. And it makes me mad because I guess main roster feels like they didn't learn its lesson. But unfortunately, the poor NXT kids are being thrown out with the bathwater, so to speak, because NXT is hosting their pay-per-view the same day. I'm like, gosh darn it, WWE. I was like, why are you doing this? The NXT kids don't deserve that. Now, granted, Forbidden Door is going to start in the morning, and Heat Wave for NXT that same day is in the evening. But I was like, we got to stop being petty, y'all. Like, come on now. I was like, too much wrestling. I was just like, and we know Forbidden Door is going to go like 18 hours. Oh my goodness. Like, it is what it is. But that's about it. But before, we still got a packed week of stuff for, BC WrestlePod this week. Tomorrow night is the double feature of reviews starting at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. 8:30 Eastern, we have our NXT review show. The NXT Losos crew will be back. NXT is in a very interesting place. I will put it at that post Great American Bash where, so tonight we're supposed to get an address from Trick and JC who are holding the TNA championship. So Santino's supposed to be there to address all that as well. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting couple of weeks for both TNA and NXT. But if NXT is not at your speed, then you should pop in at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, as CMLL will be here to review another exciting episode of CMLL, specifically the weekly Friday show from CMLL Arena Mexico. Fantastic stuff. Then on Thursday, we go from Mexico all the way up north to Canada, as I will be leading our eclectic panel in the review of Mystery Wrestling 17 as we review Evil Uno's birthday bash edition of Mystery Wrestling. Lots of crossover from independent stars, some ridiculous stuff. We had an intermission where we had a whole entire Where Are They Now like segment. It was wild. We had no Cocaine Bear this time, but who knows? He might be popping up a bit in Mystery Wrestling 18. It's wild out here, y'all. Man, it's great. But then Friday, the Six-Sided Scholars are here to review TNA Slammiversary. We will have days after me and a couple other people did the watch along on Sunday, and we will be reviewing the whole show and giving our conspiracy theories of what we need to see, where we think we're going, all that good stuff. And then we wrap things up on Sunday with our Dual Dynasty review, where we cover Raw and SmackDown. And I can't believe we are officially here, because it's going to be buck wild. Because I can't believe we're actually here. We will also be doing our predictions for SummerSlam this
SummerSlam.
I was like, Lord have mercy.
This is gonna hurt.
It's, how do I put this nicely? There's so much things going on SummerSlam week, and I'm like, oh boy, let me get the energy drinks. We're ready to go.
We're gonna feel it.
So 2 nights of watch along for SummerSlam, and the GCW crew will also be doing some watch alongs that same weekend. It's gonna be crazy. But that is going to be it for us here at All Elite Ensemble. Professor, I thank you for being here. Benny, thank you again for hopping in.
Benny killing it. 2 for 2, Benny. Well done.
Like at this point, I think he's just going to be on every week now. Like if that's what he wants, I'm here for it. But no. So it's whatever Benny wants to do, I'll go with it. But we'll talk afterward. Yeah. So we'll talk afterwards after we're offline. But that is going to be it for us here. We got a whole packed week, so that is going to be it for tonight from all of us here at All Elite Ensemble, as well as the rest of the BC WrestlePod family. Remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll catch you for another exciting review tomorrow, as well as another fun, jam-packed week with stuff going on. But until then, this is Mikey El Jefe of BC WrestlePod signing out for the evening. So until next time, and until the next review, peace.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's going to happen next time? Well, you're going to have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.